Hello tubesters, Gav yet again, hard on the heels of my latest video, which is a Harry Potter one. So I thought if I put this one straight afterwards, you can all say, well, we didn't know the Harry Potter one was there, Gav. You will watch it. Why, guys, why don't you like Harry Potter? I've no idea. Right, this is yet to be titled, but probably a end of year roundup. I was going to do a Christmas one and it's never really got done. Although saying that though, it's very festive because it's snowing outside, which is quite unusual for the UK. Everything, if we weren't all locked up in our houses, I'd say everything would grind to a halt, but as we're all locked up, there's probably not a lot of traffic out there. But we think we're snowed in, guys. If you're not in the UK, we think we're snowed in when the snow goes above your toe caps of your boots. Serious trouble there. I'm not joking. The road network grinds to a halt. Anyway, enough of that. So you're not getting a Christmas video because it's come and gone. We're going with I suppose it's a ramble anyway, and it will be titled Ramble, just so I can put them in my Ramble folder. It's just a look back on the year. A few references obviously to what's going on in the world, but as we're all living through it, hopefully living through it, and I'm sorry to all those of you out there that have lost loved ones. It's striking when and wherever it wants, really. So as they've said, whether you're a figure painter or you're a scale modeller, we've been prepping for some zombie apocalypse for years. So for us to be at our benches zoned in on what we're doing, I probably think it's one of the best things that we can do. It's they're both great hobbies. I do them both, and obviously with my mental health problems, they help me, as I keep saying. But for all you guys out there that are starting to get mental health problems, it must be a great way of spending time that otherwise you'd be watching yet another rerun of Bonanza or something, not knocking Bonanza, never was into it myself. High chaparral sometimes. Anyway, it's a ramble, stick with it, guys. If you haven't seen a Gav Ramble, that's what we do here, we ramble. How did this year pass figure painting and modelling wise? As usual, as we all know, I'm a commission painter, so you get to see, not always get to see, but on the whole, probably I suppose about 90% of what I do, clients are quite happy for me to show on my channel or occasionally on Facebook. Lots of 18mm AB figures. In fact, the next very small commission that I'm just adding to, I did a huge Saxon AB commission a couple of years ago, and we had some spare guns, cannon and crew left over, and it's taken this long to actually get them done, which the client's quite happy about. They just sat here. He said, "Do whenever you want to. There's no, they were just there. We might as well get painted." So I've been promising to do these now for about 6 months. So they're going to be shown on the channel hopefully when I start them in the next probably next week or so. Not as I say, I think there's six guns and crew, so not a big thing. I've got lots of other ABs that I'll be painting and putting up for sale. So if you're interested, there's going to be some Marmalukes. There's going to be some can't remember now. Some Austrian Landwehr and some others. The main one of the German states. I can't remember what I was calling it now. But very Saxon-esque in what it looks like anyway. So yeah, I've done lots of 18mm ABs, which you see. I've also been lucky enough to get some 28mm Napoleonic commission work. As I say, I'm not a Napoleonic buff as such. I do have a fair amount of Napoleonic books, but as I've always said, I'm more of a Great War buff for the last 15-20 years. But I've been lucky enough that people have enjoyed my painting on that side of it, and that's where a lot of my painting work comes from. Not always, but a lot of it. So we've had a lot of that, mainly Napoleonic stuff. I've been trying to throw up other 28mm bits and pieces, just to show you something different, really, and just for myself, just to paint something different. So we've had some Claymore castings. I have got to send off for another couple of bags of those, probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Again, I'm just dipping into that. I just order a couple of bags. It probably will be more cost effective to order it all in one go, but money's always tight, and they'll just be. I'm just hoping to paint those up as a small army, and then try and sell it as an army. Probably fall flat on my face with it because people won't be able to shell out the money probably, but we'll see. So that's a project that will be bubbling up and down as and when I buy the figures. They've just brought out some mounted knights with the barding on the horses. I always love barding. Dan Berman, although I think it's for the Games Workshop fantasy stuff. He does all that stuff, the barding, and Fraser's of Von Ketteringham. He's also been painting up for Lion Rampant Rules, I believe, and they're all barded horses. And I don't know. I just think they're colourful. I just enjoy those. So perhaps some Claymore castings have been painted and will be painted in the following year. What else have we had on the channel figure wise, as in wargame figure wise? I don't know. As you know me, I'll buy a few figures, paint them. I have got a hankering to paint some of either the Empress Vietnam American Marine range. I would like to do some of that because I've got a few books on Hue and the battle for Hue. So I wouldn't mind painting some of them up. But the problem is for me, as I say, I can get more enjoyment, say, painting a 54mm figure or a 75mm that I've never painted yet, say, for a Marine Corps guy in Hue in the Vietnam War, than if I did the War Games one. I won't War Game them, so I'd have to sell them. So it can generate more figures, but they don't always sell. I'm usually left with some that that you can't really put them on the display. Well, I know people do display them. They display my stuff when I pay for them on the wargame scale, but I prefer the larger display figures for that type of thing. But I do have a hankering to paint a few of those up, so I might dip my toe into that. A lot of the guys are going down the Wild West route at the moment, and that's a thing that I've always enjoyed. Of the Old West, and as I've said to you before, my display figures are Native American culture, First Nation culture if you're in Canada. I enjoy that side of it more for the display figures, but I might well get me a few Wild West figures to paint up and sell on or whatever, just because I've always fancied doing some. I've always enjoyed those foundry ones that are out there, so I might do a few of those at some stage. There was something else. Something else that Anthony at Grand Priego channel has had a nice book from Osprey for Christmas on the English Civil War. English Civil War's never been mainly my thing. I prefer 1680s onwards, but I might do a regiment of figures, and again try and. It depends. If I have a lot of commission work on, then I tend not to, because there's only so much you can do between my modelling and my display figures and the commission painting to try and then do other war game related figures that I'm only going to sell on. It's hard to just have the time, although I sit at this bench all the time, but I haven't got 4 pairs of arms all going away. So that's that. What I've been falling on my face on until recently was, I do paint, again, not a lot of display figures, not a lot of bust size. Again, it's time I paint them, especially as I do a bit of modelling as well now. Scale modelling, not catwalk. Yeah, I know, that shocked you. But what I do is with these figures and the busts, it takes ages for me to get them on a plinth, so you get to see, and then there's a huge gap of months before you get to see the final figure. But now I've found a plinth supplier, and I'm happy with the plinths. I am going to be mounting, I've been saying this for a while, but I'm going to be mounting all the figures that are a couple of busts. I've got the Native American Warrior Plains bust, Commodus bust, They need to be mounted. The 54mm Highlander, there's one little bit on the base. I want to do a small base trim. I just didn't want to do a bit of flat grass. And I'm trying to make a gabion, but not a whole one, like a busted up one with a cannonball's gone into it. So, you know, these aren't dioramas for me. They're just, I like the standalone figure, but you just have to have a bit of context rather than just mount them directly on a piece of wood. So, you know, but I've been trying basket weaving with wire, trying to make a bust up gabion, and that's taking a bit of time. So that's why you haven't seen that figure, apart from it going on the plinth. But until the gabion, if I can't, I'm not going to waste that much more time. If I can't build the gabion, I will think of something else. But that's why you haven't seen that figure, and also I was waiting for those plinths. What else? My life, I can't even remember what 54mm figures, if I've done any more. I don't think I even have. Going to the Remembrance Day group build, we've got Tommy's War figure, which is 1 in 32, which I think is about 54mm. Horses, I'm looking at the horse now. I'm really pleased with the horse. It might not be to everybody's tastes, but I'm pleased. I've never done one before in this scale. I wanted to show some texture. I won't go too much into it, so it'll be a separate video coming up in the next couple of days. Got about 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours left on it tonight, and the horse will be hopefully done, apart from a few touch-ups here and there and whatever. And when I say done, reins and all that stuff, it's just the painted horse that you saw in an earlier video actually completed. So that's not far from, I mean, I won't say we're on the home stretch, but I've got a saddle, a rider, and all the little bits that I've got to paint separately and then add on, which I'm hoping not to get glue all over the rider, but it's going to be a bit hard if I try and stick them all on the rider and then paint it all in one go. So that's got to be done. A couple of busts coming up in the new year, which we know about, is the Op Banner bust, which shows that huge chunk of resin. That will be done, but it probably won't be done until whenever I decide to do it. I'm probably going to go with my tribute to my little lad Barclay, my little pup, who, see, there's the little flowers and the little green box behind me up there. It's a Second World War fighter pilot. I have shown it on a previous video, an unboxing, I believe. I'm not sure if I did a full unboxing on it or not. Yeah, I did. But I think that's going to be my next bust, because that was for Christmas last year, and it's just been getting the courage to get it done. Oh, I say my next bust, sorry, no, I've got a Dragoon bust up there, which I'm going to have to put the airbrush and blow all the dust off it and actually get painting it. But I wanted to try and paint that one overhead with the camera down, see how that goes. It works for me, Landufik, so why can't it work for me? He's a lot better painter and a lot better videoer than I am, but hey, I'm going to give that a go. But so that'll be done next, and then the Barclay tribute bust, and that's World War II Battle of Britain pilot with a Cocker Spaniel over his shoulder. My little chap up there was a Cocker Spaniel, or was a Cocker Spaniel, a working Cocker Spaniel. Look a bit different from show cockers. So that's, again, some more future stuff coming up, and I've got my eye on, I've enjoyed doing that horse. I'd like to do another horse in 54mm rider. It's just, again, the price of them, you know, you're looking for a 54mm figure with a say figure. You're probably looking about £60, and that's between 50 and £70 really, let's say. But they seem to be coming in around the £60 mark. It's a lot of dough for someone like me. But I would like to do another mounted figure. There's some nice Native American ones. I've seen some mountain men, you know, from the 1840s and that, you know. So we'll see. And if not, there'll be another type, you know. I'm also looking at 75mm figures as well. I've never done a 75mm figure, so I wouldn't mind doing one of those as well. And I think we're going on to our modelling. Well, we know we've had ups and downs with the modelling, scale modelling. Aircraft, I only tried the 2 and I'm not even sure if that was in this year, the Sea Fury that's never been shown and which I'm about to throw in the bin. I couldn't just get the seams just looking anything like, couldn't get the decals looking anything like, but I've done a decent job filling the seam on that back of that horse that you can, well, underneath as well, but particularly where you can see at the top. I'm shocked actually that you can't see the seam line. I did chuffed with that. So I keep saying to myself, if I can do it on that horse, surely I can do it on an airplane. Well, as you know, I've got the 1 in 72 build of the Focke-Wulf 190 fighter. I'm going to be starting that in the next couple of days, because that's going to be, I called it a little holiday thing where I'm going to do it all in, just concentrate on that for you know, until from beginning to end really. So I'm going to have a go at that and see if we can, if whatever filling work. It's not just it's whatever I've got to fill. I always end up leaving filler behind, or you know, it just, you can see where it is. I have got to do the Chevy pickup. That's a lot of filler wise as well. Again, you only get better if you actually do it. But my problem, whether it's my head problems or not, is I tend to get scared of stuff. I wouldn't say scared, but you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not stood on the table as a mutant box of Chevrolet pickup. You know, gnashes round my feet type. What goes on in Gav's head. It's just a fact. You know, you hit a wall sometimes, whether it's figure painting, whether, you know, and you just think, oh, put it away until I can do it. And that's what I do. I don't put pressure on myself, because again, my head can't take pressure. So that's why you know, if you don't see it beginning to end, and you might be a huge gap. And it's like the Tyrant T54 Tyrant build, all painted, all done. It's just waiting for a little base, and I just hadn't got the gumption to do the base, and yet I'm going to push ahead with the base. I'm going like that because the Tiger's up there. The Tigers, as I say, working on the base. I'm determined to get something done. Pink Panther will be following on base-wise with that, although that's going to be absolutely tiny base. It really is just to put some context in where the Pink Panther is. All the base is going to be small. I ain't got room. I'm not like Greg Riley. I ain't got room for the giant, great big houses and all that type of stuff. It looks brilliant, but I just don't have room for it. But again, it's just to put a bit of context. And I wouldn't do it with everything I ever make. It's just when I feel like it. As I say, I've got a couple of figures for the Tiger. I'm doing this as if you can see it. I've got a couple of figures for the Tiger, and you know, again, putting it into a bit of context. After the Tiger, after the FW190, we got the T34 build. Yes, Ian, the T34 build is coming. Greg, Paul, and anybody else who wants to build a T34. There's Greg, me, Paul, Ian. Anybody else? Fill your boots. That's going to be next, and that's going to be a Croatian T34 from the late 80s, 80s and 90s, Civil War in Yugoslavia. That's going to be full of rubber screens and everything on it. It's going to throw loads at that. Not necessarily money-wise, but scratch building-wise. So yeah, going to be enjoying that. There's a couple of figures. I've got a couple of figures, and I'll probably need one or two other figures for that as well. So that's that. Then I'm determined to pick something out of the stash. I might still get a 1 in 72 aircraft. I mean, hey, you've got to replace some of the boxes, just because they're I won't say cheap as chips, but you know, you can pick a 172 fighter aircraft up for 10, 12 quid, 15 quid usually, I suppose, with postage and everything. I like my post-war stuff, but I'm quite happy to do anything else that you know, if I see it for the right price and I've got a hankering to do it, then I'll do that. So if the Focke-Wulf 190 comes out all right, then I will pick probably another aircraft up. Not necessarily straight away, but that will be added to the stash, because I've still got the 2 helicopters to build. But I want to pick another 1 in 35 scale vehicles out of the stash. Is not in there anymore. It's in another on the landing. You don't need to know, but yeah, around there somewhere. And that'll be. I've got some great friends who sent me stuff, and I've got stuff I've bought myself. So I've got a huge pick list to do. It just depends what I pick. So that's that. I feel like doing something without tracks. But if I do that, I'm not going to learn to do tracks. And anyway, I've got to do T34, haven't I? So, that's linking length. So, yeah. So that's what some of what we've done, some of what's coming up. And on the coming up front, it'll all change probably, you know what I'm like. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody that has taken the time to for the guys with fellow channel buddies. One moment, I've got to change the battery. How long have I been rambling for? Battery's useless. Right, where were we? Yeah, it's meant a heck of a lot, for the people that watch my videos. For the fellow channel marrers that we watch each other's videos. If you've watched some of mine and put some comments down and I'm not showing up on yours or either at all or no, or up on a catch, it's we all do what we all follow things that we want to watch type, if you know what I mean, and that's no disrespect to anybody out there. If you're not getting the attention returned to you, no, I don't, I'm not trying to kick you in the teeth or anything. It's just, we watch, just like I see guys coming and going on my channel. Some will either, and these are people with other channels, they'll either stop around or they won't, or they'll, the war game figure paint, well, the war gamers will show some interest in my war game figure painting, but won't show any interest in 1 in 35 scale Tiger tanks, mounted 54mm figures. They're not interested, and that's fine. Same with the modelling guys. Same with, I think my display figures tends to, cross over a bit. So they get least interest of all, which is a shame really, because I love doing them. And then of course the least interest is me Harry Potter figures. Stuff you're having them, right? for all the sunshine out there, you've got to have the odd rain cloud. So to all the guys with fellow channels that I follow regularly, I comment on regularly, and they often do it on my stuff. There's others. There's some really big channels out there that don't know I exist. I still put comments down occasionally if I think it merits it. But especially to just all of us, what I say, down in the trenches with me. We're not big channels. We don't do it for the glory. We certainly don't do it for the advertising money. We just do it. We're here, as we say in the army, because we're here. This is our little. A lot of us don't get out, especially at the moment, as they've stapled our front doors shut. And it's just a way of interacting with people that you'd never interact with. You know what I mean? So all those guys, thank you. I've got a list of names in a minute I'm going to read out. All the guys that don't have channels but take their time to watch my videos and put a nice comment down or even a thumbs up, and I'll never even know, but particularly the guys that, and I'm going to miss, I've got a few of you down as well. There will be people I've missed out on both these lists. It's not intentional. It's just whatever comes into my head, scribble it down. I've done one of these videos before and I did miss so many people out. I thought, this is not going to look good. So if you're not mentioned, it is not intentional. It is what it is. But these are particularly guys that I've interacted with a heck of a lot over the last 12 months. Because there's other people that have come and gone. They've, if not folded the channels, but they've just put them into suspended animation. Or on ice. That would probably be a better word. I could spell that. So it's just a list of guys. Forgive me if I'm looking down here. Although I'm usually looking at other places without looking at the camera, so nothing's different. But I just wanted to give I'm not going to be putting these down as links. One, because I've shouted out nearly everybody with a channel on here several times, and I will keep shouting them out throughout the year. But it's just a personal thank you for spending so much time with me on my channel, you know, I don't have a huge amount of people putting comments down. You know, I think it averages, was it 10, 8, 10, 12? You know, it is what it is. But they are what I call regular people that, or at least people that, some of them will just follow one particular genre that I do, you know. But even still, they're still consistent with doing that. So I just wanted to thank them personally. Again, these just came down in as I was writing them down, so there's no particular order of merit. But I wanted to thank Ian Aitken. Ian's does, his channel is figure painting, although he's doing scale modelling now, and he's doing the T34 build with us, so he might be getting into more modelling. And I would like to see Ian do, he's doing some cracking Star Wars figures from Star Wars Legion at the moment, but I'd love to see him doing 54mm, 75mm figures, because he's a top painter, and he really knows his colour theory, and just, you know, he's into it, and it shows in his painting. But Harry Potter figures, and probably why he doesn't get as much attention as he did. You've got to do more different figures, because people don't like Harry. How they don't like Harry Potter, I don't know, but they don't. But he also does lots of Batman, Superman, that type of genre as well. So please go and check Ian out. Greg Riley, again, Greg does 1 in 35 scale armour mainly, but he's doing a Russian submarine as well. He obviously does the figures for his armour, and he does. He's really big now into his dioramas as well, and he throws everything at them, and they're absolutely fantastic. So go and check Greg out. Paul, military modeller Paul, again, it's hard to pin down on what Paul does in the scale modelling world, because he does everything really. 1 in 35 scale, 1 in 32 Stuka, I think it was 1 in 32. Still sees that return yet, Paul, but my life, that was a huge thing. I think he was doing in the early days, when I saw him, he was doing a aircraft carrier. Did you ever finish that, Paul? Because I'd like to see that aircraft carrier. But he does everything, and now he's on about doing busts as well. So it shows how, you know, things can you can drift into other things as well. Old Tom Rambler 69, Mr. Automotive, fantastic body shop that he does. Again, scratch building in bits and pieces that he's doing. He's been doing these huge Humleys, I think they are, these big metal ones, which Charlie Mack also showed on his channel, and they're all off more time than I have. Get the angle grinder and the gas axe out to work on those, but fantastic paintwork. I'm hoping, Tom, now you're retiring, that you get a few more videos up and they're a bit longer than they are. But hey, it's a running joke with us. Sean from the Scale Model Car Guy channel, another fun enough automotive. When he's not building automotive scale models, he's buying more than he can actually build. But that seems to be not lost on his wife, but lost on Sean. But cracking builder, and a brilliant guy. You know, he's another one that you'd like to shake his hand at some stage. If I ever get into Boonesville, Arkansas, I'll be looking him up. We've got Anthony Grampriego. Anthony is a 28mm Napoleonic figure painter at the moment. Huge armies he's putting together, but he loves other stuff as well, in that type of scale. But he enjoys, you know, again, somebody else who'll often put a comment on my scale modelling, which is fantastic, you know, because he doesn't do it himself, but he can enjoy a model, you know, as much as the person that's building it. So go and check Anthony out, because he's again, you know, he'll very knowledgeable. He looks up on his subject of whatever he's painting at the time. He'll put a lot of unboxings up for the different figures he's got, which is always good, because we all love unboxings really, and you get to see figures that you might want to buy, and then you might go, oh, maybe not. Cal from Brush and Quill, again, hugely supportive of everybody's channels. He's been golden to me over the years. he does anything from 10mm dropship commander to 28mm figures, and he does the odd bit of large scale figure painting himself. At the moment he's wishing everybody a happy Christmas, one channel at a time, and he's a stand-in for Father Christmas when needed. So go check Cal out, because he's just one of the nice people in the world, like, you know, and if there's a few more Cals, the world will be a nicer place. We've got Justin the miniature painter. Most of us know Justin, again hugely supportive of everybody else's channels, and hugely supportive of the plastic figure makers as he buys them by the box load. He does mainly Napoleonics, but he's got Middle Ages, Dark Ages, you name it, his brush goes over it. Again, though, really nice bloke, and very supportive. As I say, it's the interaction the different channels give each other is always brilliant. We've got Joe from Mad Genius Productions. Joe, model maker extraordinaire. That's what the envelope with $20 was sent to me to say. Thanks, Joe. I'll put it to good use. Yeah, model maker extraordinaire. For $30, you get a couple of extra mentions. Yeah, he's whether it's cars, whether it's, and I must admit, just like all my car bodies, I don't know half of what they're building. I do love pickup trucks. I've got into American pickup trucks from the 50s and 60s. I do enjoy those, but I still wouldn't know 100% what I'm looking at. But Joe does aircraft, tanks, and he's one of these guys. He says his stuff, you know, sometimes he'll say, oh, this hasn't worked out, and you're looking at it and you're thinking, well, if that doesn't look right to you, Joe, it would probably win an award at some model show. So go check Joe out. He's a great bloke. So his wife says. So what else we got? We got Sean from Sean Knows World of Figures. Again, there aren't many of us that don't know Sean. Now Sean, I'm not sure if he was split at birth from Sean in Arkansas, because there's a definite resemblance to both of them. Now, I'm not sure what happened there, which one went to which country. You know, Sean O of Sean Knows World of Figures, he went on to a glittering box in Korea. Now I'm not on about packing biscuits in McVitie's factory. I'm on about, you know, with the pugilism. He went on to a glittering box in Korea before giving it up to paint figures. And Sean, on the other hand, is a massive fabricator, mainly of shells for his own model kits. But yeah, I did notice that the other day. I thought, these two, you know what I mean? I mean, you think about it. You stick Sean from Arkansas straight into Newcastle, you couldn't tell. He'd be like a local. Anyway, go check out Sean Knows the World of Figures. We've got Phil R. Phil is a lover of wargaming and wargaming figures, but he also enjoys a model and a large scale figure as well. Really nice fellow, really supportive. His own videos are like mini Hollywood blockbusters condensed into a few minutes. Go check Phil out, he's a great lad. We got Mike from Bassmaster Models. Mike has a summer period and a winter period. Summer period, you won't see him at all because he's off working. But the winter, obviously because he's in Belarus, it gets quite cold even with global warming. And he's doing his models, mainly command cars as he would call them. So smaller military vehicles. But I have seen him do the other one, mainly of Soviet era World War II. Massive attention to detail. Another great scratch builder. It gives you ideas for throwing at your own stuff when you see people like Mike. So go check Mike out. He's a really nice bloke. We've got Jeff of Jeff's Model Garage. When Jeff isn't going around the US delivering things in his truck, he's making models or chasing ferrets around his room that have escaped. Great sense of humour. Nothing gets him down apart from Charlie Mack. And yeah, again, just when he's around, he's just really supportive and a really decent bloke. Again, that's what his wife says. Been with her a long time, you know. He's got to be a decent bloke, really, hasn't he? But yeah, go check him out. Automotive again, but he does buy a lot of other kits. He buys a lot of kits. One of Hobby Lobby's best best customers. In fact, they roll out a carpet and he gets a free martini or whatever when he walks. Yeah, didn't you know he drinks martinis when he's walking around Hobby Lobby? So what else we got? We've got Glenn from Australia. So that's Halidon. Now, Glenn will take any type of, say, like World War II, 1950s type vehicle and turn it completely on its head and make it into one of his mighty Haledonian armed forces. If you don't know, Glenn's out to conquer the world with his Haledonian army. But he's great sense of humour. Videos are always well put together. Nice looking figures to go with his vehicles. And he's doing at the moment. He's doing a Zulu War project, which I believe is for like the Zulu film. So he's doing. Perry's are crying at the moment because he's splicing bits off and cutting other bits off and then sticking other bits onto his 28mm Perry plastics. But go and check Glenn out, really nice bloke. Charlie Mack, another bloke who doesn't need any introduction. He is just a really decent, kind-hearted bloke. Charlie Mack actually put that. Jeff said a few other things, but we're not going to go down that road. It just ends up in a bun fight. We've got Frederick from the Hobby Shack. Frederick, I should say Charlie, by the way, you name it, he models it. If you want vintage cars, I'm talking like 1900s, he'll do it. If you want World War II aircraft, he's your man. If you want motorcycles, racing motorcycles, check him out. Charlie, and he's got his wife just bought him a giant haul pack, one of the big yellow dump trucks they use in the quarries and that. I think he'll be going downtown to do his shopping in that, and he'll need that just the amount of meat and that he buys. Yeah, go and check out his cooking videos as well. Anyway, going back to Frederick. Sorry, Frederick, Charlie stamped all over your parade there. Frederick from the Hobby Shack. Frederick again, not only top class talented modeler who does great videos and how to, so he gives a lot to the community because he will spend hours videoing and editing so that we get to see how to do things and how not to do things. And there is sea, air and land, automotive. Frederick will have a go at it, so go and check Frederick out. He's just an all-round just nice bloke. And again, all these people, they make the world turn. They're on this planet for a reason. Reason being because they're good fellas. Victor from Vic's Miniatures, very much like me. He's turning into, well, maybe he won't get my looks, but he can't have everything, Victor. He does figure painting from 10mm upwards, wargaming figures, but he's also really well known for his busts and large-scale display figures. I mean, he'll literally have 3 or 4. You should see his musketeer type range at the moment. He's doing for early 1600s. He's got about 6 to choose from. But he's also gone into scale modelling, which I know he'd done a bit in the past, but he didn't really show. But now he's again, that's like ink blotted into, he's doing scale modelling as well now. And again, he's a bit like me. He's not going to make any apologies. He's not going to say I am just doing this, so just all you part of a particular community watch me. If he wants to do it, he does it. And at the moment he's doing some cars, some Great War tanks. He's done a beautiful Liberty truck. Go and check out Victor because, again, really decent bloke. We've got Chris at CD Models. Chris is an automotive guy. Again, I hardly always know what he's building. I'm not really into cars, and I definitely don't know my American cars. But he's again Mr. Attention to Detail. He will go that extra mile to do like a bonnet catch, that has to be done a particular way, and how he's done it, and really enthusiastic fella. So go and check him out. We've got Big Charlie. Now, I don't visit Charlie's channel as much as I should do, but he does a lot of die cast. It's not my thing, but I always shout Charlie out because he never stops supporting me, and I've seen him never stop supporting everybody else out there. So, Big Charlie, big thumbs up from me because you're a decent bloke. Greg from Greg's Models. Now, Greg, decent sense of humour. You know, he's got that British sense of humour. Yes, we do have one. Apart from when we're losing, because we are known for only singing when we're winning. His model, I don't know if he enters competitions or what. I don't think he commission builds, but he's just absolutely. He's just one of these blokes that does really talented work, and although he might not necessarily do tutorials a lot, but he'll film his videos in a way that you will pick up what he's doing, if that makes sense. Scratch building is just out of this world. Now, if you want to see real scratch building, go and see his latest video, which was how to shade exhaust on aircraft model. It was just a quick stocking filler. But the one before that, he's built a British World War II Sten gun out of more or less plastic sheet, styrene sheet. It's absolutely fantastic. Just display model, a Sten gun out of raw plastic, brilliant. Not moulded, not kit. Everything was built scratch. Go and check it. Go and check Greg out. Really decent fella. We've got Paul Alba. Paul does, he's obviously known for his AB work in the past, and he's doing ABs again at the moment, his 18 mils Napoleonics, but he's really got into his 20 mil World War II stuff, wargaming. So, all 18 mil, 20 mil World War II, 18 mil Napoleonics. Paul's your man. Go check him out. Paul Beckus in Australia. He's does a bit of everything. I don't visit Paul's channel as much as I should do, but he's always kind enough when he feels like dropping a comment. He does so on my stuff, and I want to give Paul a shout out in gratitude because I appreciate that, Paul. Rob from Rims Models. I haven't been in contact with Rob long. We've been signed up to each other's channels a few months, but his accent would say that he's fairly local to me. Although he wouldn't claim to be in the Black Country, I don't think. But Rob loves his interior 1/35 scale armour, tanks, interior kits, full interior. He's making me wince because he's putting. I thought, did you have to do the T55 that I couldn't do? Did you, Rob? Every time. I mean, shaking that T55 in front of me. Oh, look, Gav, I've built this part. You couldn't even get past page 3. He's a really decent modeller, and the interior kits are fantastic. So go check out Rob. Fraser von Ketteringham. We all know Fraser, huge channel. Everybody loves his channel. He's full on war gamer. Loves his figure painting, and he makes obviously all his own, or majority of his own, whether it's, when I say made, the MDF buildings is what I was after. But he does all the terrain. At the moment, he's just had himself built a huge wooden man cave, put his gaming table in, and he's moving all his stuff in there, and that's well deserved, Mara. That's you've waited that for a long time, and you put a lot into your side of the community, and that's well deserved. So enjoy that. We've got Nick, the medieval warrior. Nick, who's Greek, and should really be. You'd expect Nick to be doing hoplites, all that stuff. No, he's into European medieval. All the armour, chainmail, plate, all that good stuff. I don't always follow the and he knows this, so it's no big secret. I don't always follow the rules and stuff that because he's big into his wargaming, and that side of it isn't really me, and it just gets lost on me. But whenever he puts a video up with a nice bit of historical information on the different mail and stuff, I'm always there, and he's just a really nice bloke, Nick. I wouldn't say that publicly, of course, but he is. And I think Nick I go back with Nick now to the really early days when I first started making videos. So that, you know, I think it's one of the last people now from them days that I'm fully in contact with. You know, a lot of the time. We've got a couple of guys. John Crome hasn't got a channel. He should do though, because he does all the figure painting for wargaming, and he does 1 in 35 scale armour and other modelling. Really supportive of my channel, and John, really appreciate that, Mara. So I can't see you go check out John Crone, but John, thank you very much. Mike from Gartside Junction, again, thank you very much for your support over this time. It's been like John, it's nice to, when you have those regular people, you know, throwing their names with a comment on, it's just brilliant. We've got, let me just check if I wrote down that twice. Yeah, Martin Radcliffe, so I'd write your name down twice, Martin. Martin Radcliffe, again, been with me for years. Thank you very much for, I'm surprised you're probably on some type of tablets now, but thank you very much for your support, Mara. It's appreciated. You have to take some form of medication to keep her with his channel for that length of time. Grandad's Art Space, thank you very much, Mara. Appreciate it. I've just got to know on some of these, there's been a lot of other people. It's always hard with people without channels because there's a lot come and go. That you'll get somebody that will put a lot of comments down for a year and then disappear, or you might be saying for a month and disappear, or that it might be a month here, a month there. I cannot go back trawling through it, so I went back literally through 3 or 4 videos, but got people that popped up on several, so that's how I just did that. We've got, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Beetle. Really nice people, do a lot help with me behind the scenes that you guys don't see, and Beetle always comes up with hints and tips that I can throw at me modelling or not so much figure paint, more the modelling side of it. Keeps wanting me to do the Bandai stuff. I doubt I will. I do like my Star Wars books when I can get them on the YouTube, and I used to buy them back in the 90s, the old Timothy Zahn books. So I do like the Star Wars, but the films and all this these days, they don't really do it for me. I think they've wrecked it really, but I prefer the books, but they've even got their hands on the books now, I believe, and even those, they're saying, they weren't, you know, the canon law and all this type of stuff, but thank you very much for all your help, Mara, either on the channel or through emails and stuff. What else? I'm jumping forward here. Am I jumping forward? No, we're going down quite well. Just a few more to go. We've got Jim, Mary Hinge. Jim again, massive wall gamer, paints a lot of figures. Always been supportive of my stuff, and I appreciate you, Jim, being around. Jay from NI Miniatures, don't have so much to do with each other, but I know Jay's art's always in the right place, so good luck to him. I hope his channel goes through the roof. We've got another Jay from the HXJ 1971 channel. You know you are, Jay. Jay comes and goes. 28mm Napoleonics, and he's doing 10mm, I believe, as well now. Infrequent video producer these days, but when he does, they're always good stuff. Scott, Liberator 240, again, comes and goes with the videos, but fantastic painter. 28mm, mainly Napoleonic, but also does ACW. Thank you very much, Scott. Michelangelo channel, you name it, especially like I can never say, is it 20mm? I'll call it 20mm, 1 in 70, no, I'll just call it 20mm plastics. Not my thing, but really decent work, so go check that channel out. Steve Jones, Steve Jones Scale Models, again like Greg, Scratch Builder Extraordinaire. He will get down into the minutiae and produce it in styrene or wire or whatever needs to be done, Steve will do it, and he's really handy with an airbrush as well. It gives a lot, you know. Again, a lot of these guys, they don't have to. I do this for my mental health. A lot of these videos, not always. In the very early days, it was just because I wanted to put my stuff up, but now I do it a lot because it helps my head. But these guys don't need to do that. They just like showing their own modelling skills off, and sometimes with painting you can deconstruct without somebody saying how they've got from A to B with a particular colour. Scale modelling, it's a bit harder, you know, and for these guys to actually take the time to sit down and say, right, cut this out like this, stick this like, you know what it's like. But Steve's brilliant. We got Michael, Mr. Hamakabakis, really large channel, 30,000 plus subs. But I've always said this about Michael: he's got time for the little guys, and that I think is a mark of a you get these guys all shout out. Well, people don't, and people that I interact, they shout out for subs, and I'm not knocking you for that. Shout out for subs and things, but it's almost like when people get to the big leagues, I don't need to mess around with the people or comment on people that I knew before, and Michael definitely isn't like that. He's a really decent bloke, and I love obviously his work he does, which is he does 1 in 35 scale builds, 1 in 35 scale figures. He'll do 54mm figures, 75mm, you name it, aircraft, you name it, dios. He'll have 4 or 5 on the go. Occasionally he's German. Occasionally he'll do an English version, which he doesn't have to do. His English is impeccable, but he does it in German. I don't mind that. It's his national language. I'm quite happy to read the subtitles. So thanks a lot, Michael, for all your stuff you do for the community. Joachim from Yorama Model Bow. Again, Joachim is massive support of everybody's channels. Infrequent videos of his own. When he does, though, 1/72 scale armour. And again, minutiae of scratch building, photo etched brass. It's amazing to see such a small vehicle have so much attention thrown at it, and they always come out brilliant at the end. And he goes to the trouble of painting the little figures and doing the dioramas. James at JVC Paints, again, big supporter of mine. Not that I'm running for Parliament or anything, but he's just another really decent bloke. Canadian, based in Japan. Figures. He does some models in the 1 in 48 scale, which is popular in Japan anyway. But for his wargaming side of it, I believe. But again, you'll find James popping up on lots of people's channels, and he does some cracking videos. Dan Berman. Dan's a farmer in the United States. No, he doesn't do videos on farming. But what I mean is he's tied up a lot of the time with the type of activity he works on. It takes a lot of his time up. But check out his own figure painting and his for wargaming, and his terrain. I'm sorry, diorama. Going into modelling there, but houses anyway, houses, buildings, things like that. Really, really decent fella. We got Warren. Yay, Warren's back. Stop disappearing, Warren. Get the videos up. Warren from Strike Eagle Models. Really decent fella again. Brilliant painter. He'll tell me to say this. Check out his Strike Eagle Models Facebook group or page. Really nice bloke, Warren. We've got Wargaming with Gary. So Gary, I see popping up on loads of people's channels. Wargaming, as is in the title. He does a lot of 28mm stuff. I don't visit his channel half as much as I should do, but he's been a big contributor to this one, or contributes a fair bit to this one. I just wanted, again, my thank you, like Paul Becker's, my thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And Terry Crick, Terry comes and goes with his channel. Looks like he's going at the moment, but one day he'll be back. Again, when we all do these channels, we're not tied to them, doing when we want to. If you start putting pressure on doing videos, then you'll lose interest in it. And also the very thing that this channel is, whether it's figure painting or scale modelling, don't beat yourselves up. If you're not enjoying it, go and do something else. You know, it's a hobby. We're not, as this coronavirus has shown us, you know, how long we're on this planet for is finite. So, you know, do something that you enjoy. When it stops becoming fun, move on. No, I'm done. But yeah, so Terry, thank you very much. I should say, wargaming, figure painting. He paints to collect rather than game, but go check Terry out. He's a big supporter of everybody's channels and a thoroughly nice guy. Once again, I have left people out. It's not been intentional. It's just I was scribbling these down. I wasn't going to go through every single name I've got in the 200 because I don't have a lot of. Some people don't have a lot to do with me. As I say, they come and go. They'll show a bit of interest and then disappear. Again, that's nothing. Not knocking them for that. I do. You know, I can do the same. You know, I can unsub from what I would call dead channels. You know, it's I don't have any problem with doing that. You know, I don't like my feed getting into, you know, hundreds and hundreds of channels that aren't, you know, have long since stopped producing stuff or produce stuff, you know, one video a year. So if I haven't mentioned your name, it's you know, I always say to myself, don't do this type of video, Gav, because it just gets negative because people get hurt when they're being left out. I didn't mean to leave you out. So guys, that's my year in review ramble. I don't know what this year is going to install. We never do we? But what we can control is what we do at our benches, our modelling and our figure painting, or figure painting and modelling, whatever you want to do. Stick at your benches, guys and gals. Enjoy what you're doing. It will, or it does make things, even if you don't think so at the time, it does make things better. It's a hobby, as I say. I'm looking at the horse that I've painted. Now again, I'm not saying I'm some top guy at painting, I'm not. But I'm looking at that horse right now. And I had that horse sat on my desk for, was it 6 weeks or a month? I don't know, whatever it was. Scared to do anything else on it. And now I'm looking at it now, and it's a beautiful horse. And I've actually really enjoyed just sitting here looking at it. And smile on face, you know, I've persevered with it, I've enjoyed it, and it's a morale boost. So however tough, I've got a feeling they're not going to get much better anytime soon. So however tough things get, keep at that bench when you can. I know a lot of people actually have other things to do in their lives, but keep at that bench, enjoy what you're doing. You'll be surprised how it'll lift you. And if you have got a video, if you want to start making videos, my suggestion is do it. You don't have to put your mugshot on, you know, just do what a lot of people do the old hand movements. I would say interact with other channels because people won't know. I get to see this so many times, especially since coronavirus. People started putting videos up, but they never interacted with anybody, so nobody knew they're there. And you know, they're peeing in the wind. You know, because until YouTube very often doesn't, until you start getting sorry, hang on a minute. Sorry about that. I know I'm not editing it out. He's just been shouted at. Yeah. If you fancy doing videos, do them. You've got nothing to lose. You know, do a few. If it's not for you, you can take your channel down. But I would say interact with. It doesn't have to be with, say, you know, my channel, but whatever thing you're into. If you're into painting war games figures, you need to put yourself out there with other channels because they won't know you exist. You know, you can't just sit there on your laurels and expect people to come to you because a lot of the times they won't find you. They'll never even know you're there. Because of the way the YouTube runs its that, you know, you don't necessarily have to have people giving you shout outs. It's just the fact that people read. It's just what we do. You read people's comments on other people's videos, and you say, oh, that person's got a channel, or it looks like he got a channel. I'll press that and see if they, you know, what they're doing. So do it. You know, it's surprising. You don't have to make the amount that I do, but yeah, if you're thinking about it, give it a go. It doesn't hurt. So once again, guys, thank you for everything that you've done for me last year or this year that's about to pass. I really can't thank you enough. The reaction to the General Service Medal video that I put up, yes, teary, snotty-faced Gav. I did cringe when I looked back on it, but it's stopping up. That meant a lot to me, but also the reaction that you guys and guys that you know have only ever put one comment ever down on my videos. It shows that people have got a heart out there, and it resonated. So just on that one, thank you very much. But it just shows, as I say, YouTube gets a lot of negativity. We all know there's a lot of negative people out there. You just got to roll with that when you do a YouTube video. That's all you can do. So every single one of you out there that has a channel that and you know has regular contact with me, for the guys that channels that don't have zero contact with me, but I watch your stuff, it's as I'm at my bench the whole time. It's fantastic entertainment. I don't watch the TV whatsoever. I don't have a radio on in here. I just put YouTube on. Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. To the guys that put comments down regularly, again, without channels, it means a lot, because you're taking the time out your day not only to watch my video, but then to put a comment down at the end of it. That's brilliant. And to the guys that just put a thumbs up, to the guys that watch it, don't think of putting a thumbs up, that's absolutely fine. Got no problem with that. I'll never even know anyway, will I? But thank you for taking the time, even if you watch an hour video and you watch 2 minutes of it. Again, thank you. It's me. This is how I interact with the world, and it means a hell of a lot. One last shout out. Mick, the MGH 1736 channel, he's on ice at the moment. Mick, things will work out for you, Mara. Look after yourself. It'll come good. So no worries on that score. You defrost your channel when you're ready. Guys, thank you very, very much. You're all brilliant. Beautiful people, as Oddball would say. And we'll catch each other very soon on another video.